When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is? Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
This is insane. Chicken joe.
So Disney just spent over $250 million trying to reinvent Snow White and still got their crown stolen by a video game movie where the lead character's biggest flex is pushing dirt blocks. Baby, Rachel Zegler came in swinging at the original like it owed her money, and now she's watching Minecraft casually farm box office wins like it's mining diamonds in survival mode. This isn't just a flop anymore, it's a full-on cultural meltdown with popcorn.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
Let's go back for a second. Disney has been spiraling lately, and every remake they've thrown at us feels like a therapy session wrapped in CGI. The Little Mermaid barely stayed afloat. Peter Pan and Wendy ghosted harder than a Hinge date. But Snow White? That one hit different. They didn't just reimagine the fairy tale, they stripped it, shook it, and threw away everything that made it iconic.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight. And it's pretty hysterical actually to watch.
There's no way that Snow White is going to recover.
Enter Rachel Zegler, a young actress with talent, sure, but who somehow turned one of Disney's most beloved characters into a walking PSA about why love stories are toxic and fair skin is outdated. Now look, the problem was never the diversity. The problem was the attitude. Rachel rolled into the Snow White role like she was doing the world a favor. She trashed the original film, rolled her eyes at Prince Charming, called the 1937 version weird, and basically told fans who didn't vibe with her take to go watch something else.
Rachel Zegler is a loudmouth dope.
We're talking about ultra-far leftists, people who believe that men and women are a figment of your imagination, that your money is not your own, that your family is not your own, and that your country is not your own. That's what woke me.
Snow White, of course, famously played by the insufferable girl boss narcissist, who's just clinical at this point.
Now, there is no doubt about it that Snow White 2025 is considered by far one of the worst box office failures, not just with Disney, but also in the entire film history when it comes down to live-action remakes.
She did interviews where she dismissed the original as creepy, said her Snow White was about political leadership, and hinted there might not even be a prince in this retelling. Ma'am, you're playing Snow White, not running for office. People came for a fairy tale, not a corporate TED Talk. And the press tour? Whew. It went from promoting a movie to dragging the entire source material through the mud. She gave BuzzFeed feminist panel energy when what people wanted was Disney magic. She told the world she didn't need romance in her version and didn't care what fans thought. Which is wild, because they're the ones buying the tickets. So naturally, the backlash came fast and loud. People weren't just annoyed, they were confused. Like, why sign up to star in a remake of something you clearly don't like? That's like auditioning for Batman and saying capes are stupid. Fans felt insulted, legacy was disrespected, and it all started spiraling from there.
Every single one of these reviews is just absolutely brutal. And what you also need to know is that these are not politically driven reviews. I mean, most of them are from the camp that should be supporting Disney, that should be behind this new progressive take on Snow White, and yet they can't because the film is apparently just that bad.
Then came South Park. Oh yes. When South Park enters the conversation, you know the satire blade is getting sharpened. In the special Into the Pandaverse, they dragged the entire industry for doing exactly what Snow White had become. Taking beloved stories, stripping the soul, adding representation without substance, and acting like that alone equals progress. They created an AI version of Kathleen Kennedy who pushes corporate feminism into every multiverse. The shade was loud. Disney didn't need to be name-dropped. Everybody knew exactly who was being roasted. And even though Rachel wasn't in that episode, her entire energy, that smug, "you'll thank me later" attitude, was all over it. And just when you thought she might lay low, Rachel dropped the cringiest TikTok in Hollywood history. She walked into a nearly empty theater, bouquet in hand, filming herself buying 2 tickets to her own movie. Sis really acted like she was attending the Oscars when the guy at the ticket counter didn't even know what film she was there to see. It was giving surprise party for one. What was meant to be a cute viral moment turned into a girl read the room situation real quick. Meanwhile, over in Pixel Land, the Minecraft movie just casually stomped its way to box office domination. A film critic said was too childish, too basic, too blocky. It walked into theaters and made more money in one weekend than Snow White did in its entire sad little run. We're talking a $300 million global opening, while Snow White struggled to crawl past $160 million even after reshoots, desperate promo tours, and a marketing budget that could fund 3 indie studios.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected. And now we're finding out that Snow White has officially crossed $160 million.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made 2.
Minecraft didn't need think pieces. It didn't need to shame its audience or deconstruct its legacy. It showed up, gave kids a fun ride, let Jack Black scream into a mic, and walked away with everyone's coins. It was light, self-aware, entertaining, and, most importantly, made for the people watching it. Theaters were packed, teens were showing up in suits, parents were laughing, kids were living. It was an event, a celebration. And Disney, they were watching it all from the sidelines like they forgot how to play the game. Jack Black alone had more charm in 5 lines than the entirety of Disney's Snow White. And you could feel it. The Minecraft screening had a vibe, energy, excitement. Snow White screenings had echoes. So what's the lesson here? Simple. Respect the fans, respect the story, and for the love of cinema, stop talking down to the people you're asking to support your project. Progress isn't the problem. Change isn't the issue, but condescending press tours, performative feminism, and rewriting stories just to look good on LinkedIn, that's what kills magic.
57 million while earning another 144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. So it actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's a $1 billion IP. Disney Snow White faithfully adapted.
Rachel's downfall wasn't just one bad interview, it was the result of a bigger Hollywood ego trip. The belief that branding a story as progressive makes it automatically better. That fans will show up no matter how hard you spit on the original. But audiences are waking up. They want heart, not lectures. They want stories that invite them in, not shame them for liking the classics. If Disney had stuck closer to the original, added thoughtful updates, and cast someone who actually loved the material, they could have had a $1 billion smash. Instead, they handed the mic to someone who looked bored with the whole thing and made every promo sound like a college essay. And now, instead of being celebrated, this Snow White is the punchline of 100 memes on X. So here we are, a princess turned PR disaster, a studio losing credibility with every reboot, and a blocky little game that just gave Hollywood the blueprint for how to win again. No lectures, no egos, just fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was Rachel Zegler unfairly scapegoated, or did she dig this hole with her own microphone and a shovel full of ego? Should Disney reboot their remakes, or just reboot their entire mindset? Smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't miss the next one, because if this is the direction Disney's headed, we might need more popcorn.